Greetings, makers. It's Amy from Softwind Crafting coming to you from my craft room. So today we're going to turn some simple paper into handmade magic. So grab your cardstock and your favorite stamps. I've got an oldie but goodie design that we're going to dive into. And I say oldie and goodie because I hadn't made this card in a very long time. So back in the days of the lockdown, I got this set called Beautiful World, and I made this type of Z-fold card. And I really like this design, but I kind of put it aside and I started playing with other fun folds over the years. I kind of forgot this. And I was actually going through a box of old cards, looking for some cards I could use to send out. And I found this and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a great design. And I have not done this in a really long time. And I thought this would be a good design to share with you. And I don't know what it's called. I'm going to just call it a pop-out Z-fold because it is a Z-fold. It's just a Z-fold in reverse with a little pop-out that pops out of your front window. Oh, maybe you can call it a window pop-out Z-fold, window Z-fold. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and make this design today, but we're not going to use Beautiful World. We are going to use the Sweet Bugs bundle from Stampin' Up. And you notice I already dipped it into my ink pad. I told you I'm dangerous with an ink pad if I leave them open, and that's what happened. But this is the stamp set that we're going to be using today to create this pop-out Z-fold card. And we're going to be using the dies that go with it. So I got these as a bundle. You can get the stamp separately. But I like how the dies have more options because they've included some different kind of flowers and some toadstools, mushrooms. I don't know the difference, but there is a difference. And it has some cute little like butterflies, a dragonfly, a little itty bitty snail. Won't that be cute? On top of a toadstool. Some little more flowers, and then some strawberries and blueberries that kind of match the designer series papers that goes with this stamp set. So let me show you that paper. This is the Cute as a Bug DSP. And so this is my favorite paper in the whole stack. I just love the color combination, and I just love it. But it also has some real pretty cute little bugs. This one is so cute carrying the flower. Let's see. The back is like flowers. And then we have this page, which will make good card fronts. You can cut out to put on your cards as just different scenes. And then the back is some leaves. We have some more bugs that are going along. Oh, look at these, are so cute. I guess they're like butterflies that are moths, maybe? I don't know. I'm not really good at identifying bugs. And then this is the back of that paper. And then, oops, I'm sorry. Then we have these bugs. I think this one's so cute with the little acorn top for a hat. I just love that. I think that's so cute. They're passing around little fruits. So I guess those are grapes. Maybe they're blueberries? I don't know. Blackberries? Blackberries probably, because I think blueberries are different. Okay, so the back of that paper is some checkered squares. Then we have one that's really just the fruits with some bees going through. And the back of that paper is more checks. And then finally, my favorite, the mushrooms, toadstools, whatever you want to call them. And then it has a check paper in the back too. But this paper is really cute, super adorable. And so I can't wait for us to use it in today's card. So I'm also going to be using Happy Valentine's Day from the Valentine Kisses stamp set. This is an online exclusive that came out in November, but it is still available online. Oh, by the way, the Sweet Bugs bundle is in the new mini catalog that just started January 6th. So it is available through that. And it actually comes as a suite. It comes with some, ribbon, which is this. I haven't opened it yet, but it's kind of like Rick Rack, and it's Old Olive. So this came with this particular suite. So we also are going to be using the Spotlight on Nature dies to cut out our window. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Now, I did do some of the cutting already. I did do some of the die cutting already and coloring, just because I wanted to save time and not have you watch me going and doing every little step as of the moment. Okay, but there is some that I'm going to be doing with you. So let me put these up here for the moment, just get them out of the way. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, and I did already score it. Oh, I broke a nail. Sorry about that. That I have scored at 4.25. I'm sorry, I was so distracted by the fact that I broke a nail somewhere right now. Okay, we have a piece that I am going to score with you. This is 8 inches by, you know what? I cut this wrong. I'm going to have to cut this again. Hang on a second. Let me pause and do that. Okay, so here we go. We have a piece that is 8 inches by 5.25, because we do want that to slip into our card. I'd cut it for this way instead of this way. So yes, it does happen. All right, I have 2 pieces of DSP. The first piece is 5.25 by 4. Okay. And the second piece is 5.25 by 1 3/4. Okay, and I'll be putting these measurements in the description. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by cutting. We're going to put the DSP on the front, because we're going to cut out a circle from this, and I want the holes to match. So when I put my DSP on, I want to be careful that I am not putting the glue in the center where I'm going to put where I'm going to cut out my circle, because we're going to use that circle for our card. So we're just going to kind of sure it's just on the edges. Okay, and we're going to center that top to bottom, side to side, as best we can. Get it kind of, make sure it's straight. And that looks pretty good. All right, so I am going to cut out the center of this using my cut and emboss machine. I'm using the second largest, I believe. Yes, the second largest Spotlight on Nature dies, but I'm using the one that has the little flower piece to it. Looks like little flower petals. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that right here, and I'm going to grab some sticky tape to hold it in place. So this is like Post-it note tape, and I want to make sure I don't want it to be too far. I don't want it to be too far to the top. I don't really want it centered. I want it just a little bit high. I get a little bit high, a little bit towards the top. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my machine real quick. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this off. All right. So let me grab these pieces. We can use these again later. And so we have a piece of DSP that we can use later for something else. And then we're going to be using this, this particular circle for our inside, for our pop-up. And I am looking for my little tool so I can get all those little bits and pieces out of the circle. Let's go ahead, just going ahead and I know so you can attach it to your, oh, those don't want to come out. You can attach it to your take your pick tool. I'm just too lazy to undo the other stuff and then put it back in. So some of these don't want to come out. I think it would have been easy. I probably should have tried the wax paper technique, which is to basically use wax paper to rub on the back of your dies. I heard it helps you get these to release better. But I keep meaning to get some wax paper and bring it here into my craft room, and I keep forgetting. So let me go ahead and take my take your pick tool. I'm going to pop out the rest of these that don't want to. I think I like the old hanging chads from that election years ago. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, so I got all the pieces, and now I've got a huge mess on my table, but that's okay. All right, so let me go ahead, and I'm going to tap these out. Let me go ahead and see if I can get these off my mat, just to get them out of the way. And there we go. All right, so, all right, the next thing we want to do is we want to score our inside piece, okay, because it's going to be like a reverse Z-fold that is going to go right there. And so we need to make to do a scoring. So I'm going to pull out my scoring tool, Simply Scoreboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at, let's see, let me make sure, at 2 inches and 4 inches. Now, it would be better if I'd flip back and forth, but off the top of my head, I couldn't remember which way the fold went off the top of my head. So, now that we got this, so it's going to, so our inside fold, we're going to fold in, because this is going to be to fold like the rest of the card. And I just had my, I guess I put it away, because it wasn't in there. Let me move this out of the way real quick. So I'm going to give that a good burnish with my bone folder. And this one, we're going to fold in as well, because it's going to be like this, and it's going to, nope, I'm doing this backwards. Sorry. We're going to fold it back on the end. It's a Z fold, remember? There we go. So I'm going to give that a really good burnish, and then this another good burnish. Okay. All right. Before we do anything, let's go ahead and I'm going to put this die over here because I'm going to lose it if I don't. Okay. So this is, oops. I thought I cut it at 5 1/4. Boy, today is just not my cutting day. All right. Let me grab this again. This should be at 5 1/4. It is at 5 1/4. Oh, the white is smaller, so we're going to do it at 5, because the white piece is at 5 1/4, and we want to be this a little bit less on top. So I'm going to have to change that. So there we go. That looks much better. All right, so let me grab my glue, and we're going to go ahead . Go ahead and put this on there. And again, centering, keeping it as straight. Okay. Now, I like to leave this blank. You could put another piece the same size DSP here, but I want to use this to write my message to my friend that I'm going to give this card to. Right? And so we're going to stamp here in a little bit, but I do want to get this on here so I know where I'm going to be doing my stamping. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and burnish the card base. And I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place here. So we're going to burnish that. But I do want to stamp it before we get it in, because, let's think about this. I want to stamp it. Okay. Because I like stamping first before I put it in, because I'm always so scared I'm going to mess up my stamping and then I'm going to have to start again. And then, so I guess that would be fine because we could close that and then we can see where we're putting our stamping. Okay, so this is where I want to put Happy Valentine's Day. And so I'm going to grab my Secret Sea. I love Secret Sea. You could use another color. You can use Cajun Craze because it matches there. You could use Mossy Meadow because it's a good match with this. You could use Pecan Pie. I'm just going to happen to use Secret Sea because I like Secret Sea because it stands out super well. Okay, I'm just kind of lining this up. I'm going to use some tape to make sure it doesn't move on me because I haven't glued it quite in yet, but I just want to match up where my circle is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to put that there and put this piece here. Okay, this is just so it won't move on me as I'm doing my stamping. All right, so let me ink that up. Tap, 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 tap. I want to check it because this is I forgot if I fixed it or not. So I'm going to put Happy Valentine's Day kind of in the center. And if you wanted more of a message, let's see, is it straight? Okay, so holding that down for a little bit to let the ink transfer. And there, oh, that's so pretty. I love this font. Okay. So I really love that font. So I'm going to take this off because now I'm going to do some stamping to add some little pictures down here. Let me close this because, yes, I have already had an accident with Secret Sea today. I'm going to grab my Cajun Craze. And what I want to do is there is the little mushroom toadstool stamp that came in. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of add it to the bottom of my card. Okay, I'm going to add it to the other side as well. All right. And while I have this stamp out, let me grab my envelope. And I'm going to go ahead and I like having my envelopes decorated. So even if I haven't putting them through the mail, I still like having a little something on the envelope. Now, if you wanted to color this in, you could use your Stampin' Blends, but if you do it on your envelope, you do want to put some sort of cardstock inside because it'll bleed through if you're using your Stampin' Blends. But you can use your Stampin' markers. They're not going to be available anymore, but some of you already have those markers and have a good collection of them, and you could use it for that. So let me go ahead and put my envelope aside for right now. So now, oh, see, I already got ink. How did I do that? I'm looking, I don't see any Cajun Craze on my fingers. And y'all see I'm a messy stamper, but anyway, you'll be writing over that with your message, so they're not going to notice it. All right, so let me go ahead, glue. And let's add some glue to the back here. Get it to come out. Okay. And we're going to center, we're going to kind of line that up, leaving like about 1/8 of an inch gap. So it's kind of, if you close it, you'll see that's going to be there. So we're going to pull this to make it a little straighter, because we want this edge out here to be straight as well. So you still have a little give with your liquid glue. Okay. And now this is where the magic happens. All right, so we do need to, I want to stamp this before I stick it back in and glue it down. And then I'm going to add my, we'll add our dies on as it's there so we can see where it goes. Let's go ahead and take this out. And I am going to stamp Hello Friend. Now, if this is the first time I've made this card, so everything's coming out. The only thing I'm keeping in mind is my old design. But I want to do Hello Friend, because this is going to a friend of mine, like a Galentine's card, or you could call it a Palentine's card. Okay, so I'm going to get that going. So there, Hello Friend. Closing this, because obviously I'm not very good with my ink today. All right, so putting that aside. All right, so before I glue this in, okay, you do want to make sure that whatever you put in for your card, or that you're going to put on top of this circle, stays within here, because this is going to open up like this. And then we're going to be able to pull this open like this. Okay? All right, so if the first thing we want to do, I'm just going to do this because I want to see how we can build this before we actually glue everything down. Okay. I like making these things first and then gluing them, rather than gluing them first and then adding things on, because if I make a mistake, then I have to tear up so much more of my card. All right, the first thing that I did is I wanted to make some toadstools that kind of look like the card. So they cut out in one piece. So what I did is I cut out two pieces, one in Cajun Craze and one in white. And I'm basically just cutting off the top of the Cajun Craze, and then I'm going to glue it on to the white like I did these two already. So let me grab my scissors. We're going to do the large one now. Okay, and we're just going to cut around. There we go. And now I'm going to, you know what? I just did that completely backwards. Oh, now I'm going to have to cut out a new one. Well, I could always just, let's see if we can make this work, because I got too excited and just cut off the wrong piece. That's my problem. But the idea was I was supposed to cut off the Cajun Craze, not the white, but I was holding the white and the Cajun Craze came off. So we're just going to make it work. We're going to make it work. And that's the great thing about card making, because you can make it work. All right, so there we go. So now I have my toadstools. All right, so just kind of like keeping in mind the size. So I want to go ahead and put, not making sure it goes over there. Okay, and then I want one other toadstool over here. So I think I like that. And then this one. Now I did cut out two bugs already and colored them. I didn't want you to have to sit here and watch me like agonize over my color choices and then be unhappy with my color choices. And it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be unhappy with my color choices after I do it. But I just kind of want to see where I'm going to place these. Okay. I want to make sure the Hello Friend is visible. And then I have my bee. But the thing is I cut out a heart using a very old die set, because I couldn't find a heart big. Either the hearts were way too big or way too small. And so this one seemed right, because my vision when I saw this stamp set from the very beginning is I saw these bugs holding a heart for Valentine's Day. And so I'm just trying to see where I can put my bugs in order to get that going, but at the same time, not the toadstool. This toadstool needs to be way up. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let me put this aside. We're going to go ahead and just glue the toadstools and down to our cardstock straight. We're not going to use any, what do you call it? Dimensionals. We want this part, I want this part flat. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm going to add my toadstool. Make sure I'm staying in my circle. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to add my other. And my hands don't work backwards, and that's what I was trying to do, everything backwards. Okay. All right, there we go. And then we're going to add, I'm going to add a dimensional to my bug. And I had a whole stack of dimensionals. Oh, did I move them over here? They all fell. They all fell. They all went into my markers. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to add 2. I mean, you could have just do 1 in the center and that would be fine. Right. All right, so this is the one that I really want to make sure my hello friend shows up. There we go. Okay, so now we can kind of play with the mushroom here. So yeah, that looks good right there. I really like this set. It's very to me, it's very whimsical. But remember, you want to make sure that it stays within your circle. You don't want it popping because you don't want to get it in the way of it opening up here in a minute. All right, so I'm going to look at where my heart is going to be so I know exactly where to place. I'd used some old cardstock that I had some adhesive back, but I want my heart to pop up. So let me grab a dimensional. And we're going to go ahead and now I can place the bee to match the heart. Get those backs off. Okay. Oh, I love that. That is just so cute. So now we need to add it to our card. So now the key here is when you add this, you want to make sure that you're only putting glue on the back of this side. I cannot tell you how many times that I flipped it over, put the glue on the wrong side, and then it ends up getting glued to the paper instead of being able to open up. Okay, so here it fits nice and neat into our circle. So I'm just going to pull it open because I want to kind of like mark with my finger that I want to make sure I keep my glue just on this side. And I'm very conservative because I want to make sure I don't go over. So we'll do that. And again, laying it down inside the cutout circle. Just pressing down, trying not to slide it. Okay, so now, okay, there we go. And there we have our Sweet Bugs window pop-up card. I think that's so sweet. I love this paper. I love this set. When I saw this bug, I saw him holding so many things. There's a stamp of like a little ladybug holding a book, but I could see putting something over this and having the ladybug holding something else. Be so cute. I really, really love this set. Oh, and speaking of ladybugs, I have the new Ladybug Garden epoxy shapes. This came with this suite, and so it's going to open like this. Would be something cute to add to the inside of our card. I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. Now I am terrible about getting these things off, so let's see. We can always add it over on top of the mistake I made, but that's kind of a strange place to do, especially if I wanted to write kind of a whole note. So I'm not going to do that. But let's go ahead and grab one of these. Oops, see, they're real sticky. And it's not working for me. There, let's try the spatula, because I don't know how some people can get these things so easily. And I'm just going to add it. See, it's already, the glue is coming off to my spatula. So I'm just adding one there on top of the toadstools. But there you go. This is our Valentine's Day card. And if you want, you could add some more to the front. We could add some of these gems. Let's go ahead and add some of these white clear gems. Okay, so I'm going to add this one here. And I'm going to get 2 smaller ones. Oh, if I can get them off. I have such a hard time with these. Oh, there we go. That worked. Finally. Okay, and I'm going to grab another small one. And I'm going to add it right there. And there we go. Just add a little thing. Oh, and one more thing. I had thought about this, and then I kind of forgot about it, because I always forget about my Wink of Stella. Let's grab it. If I can find it, because now that I want to use it, it is nowhere to be found. There we go. I just thought we could add some Wink of Stella to our bug's wings. And see if I can get this off. There we go. So I'm just going to do a little bit of I don't know. Wings should be glittery, right? So there we go. I don't know if you can see the little shimmer that got added to the wings, but it's there. Guys, I think this is a very sweet card, and I can't wait to give it to my friend. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you will, even if you don't have this sweet yet, that you use your own papers, use your own stamps, and come up with a card using this pop-up Z-fold card, because it makes super pretty. And if you want to, you can continue writing over here, because it will be hid. The only time you will be able to see it, you will see it when you open up the card this way, but it will definitely be hidden when it's closed up like this. Anyway, thank y'all for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you later on this week.